Welcome everyone to another episode of Chat, Grapple and Cheap Pops podcast. I'm Chris Dredd here with the main man JB. What's going on, bruv?
All good. All
Yeah.
damn good.
What's happening? You got another episode and you're getting it quick because we kind of longed out the last one, so we're going to smack you up with two in a week. How do you feel? Hope everyone's lovely.
We've been looking forward to this.
We have been looking forward to it. It's one of these. This is the era, man. This is the era that, like, for WWF especially, that just catapulted them into, basically WWF. Vince went public with the company on the backs of this main event, basically, or with these two guys in the main event. You know, the money that was flying around, and also the reason I like this event as well, man. The crowd is fucking wild, dude. Absolutely wild.
It's wild for a lot of it. There are a few matches where they've either gone for a snack or have decided to just have a little break.
Yeah, I've got some notes about that one as well. But yeah, man, I hope you're doing all right, bro. We're just hitting everybody up with a new episode. This is episode 15, but we do have a little bit of news. Well, it's not really news, is it, Jordan? It's we're gonna moan about shit.
Before we moan, we should remind everyone that you can catch us on YouTube. You know, Chat Grapple Cheap Pops. You can also find us on Twitter at Chat Grapple Pops. Instagram,
Correct.
same thing. Instagram Chat Grapple Pops. You know, we're finding some absolute relic tape of World Wrestling Federation and World Championship Wrestling and whacking it on the Instagram account. You can see some of the most amazing bits of TV that never made it to the network for some reason, including this week Owen Hart winning the WWF title and Ludwig Borger, Finland's greatest athlete, winning, in the quotations, the IC title from Razor Ramon. All these title changes never counted. They all got reversed in the end. But you can see those clips on our Instagram. You know, we're also on Facebook, Chat Grapple Cheap Pops. You can't miss us. And
You can't.
yeah, and Chris is getting ready to reel off all those other podcasting places you can find us.
You can find us on Podbean, Spotify, Deezer, Castbox, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Listen Notes, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio. All of that there. And it was mad. We was in the car yesterday. I was in the car with the missus driving. And, like, she's got her phone hooked up to the thing on Spotify. And I went, you know what? We've been listening to her tunes for a while. We was out for another little bit. I thought, I'm banging the podcast on, mate. I'm banging it on. See how me and Jordan sound, you know, because we rarely listen to ourselves, really. Like, and yeah, dude, I was loving it. You know what I mean? It's kind of mad because, you know, you listen to a lot of other podcasts, but we don't really listen to ourselves. And then I listened to ourselves. I thought, you know what? We're actually not that bad. You could do a lot worse, YouTube and Podbean, Spotify, Deezer, Castbox, blah, blah, blah. You could do a lot worse. So please like, please subscribe. We've got stuff to give away. We are waiting. We are waiting on the people, man. We're waiting on you guys because we want to give this stuff away. We're ready. We've got our missuses will be happy that we're giving shit away.
It's clutter. It's clutter in the house.
Clutter. It's becoming a problem. It's becoming a bit of an issue. So yeah, like, here we are, episode 15. Was there any news, any things that have happened really, apart from what we covered last time, news-wise?
There is a little bit of news, and I've got a little something to say. I know you've got a little something to say, so let's get the bad out of the way before we start with the good.
Yeah, you want me to crack on with it?
Do it.
Well, again, on our last episode 14, Super Brawl 1, WCW, find it in our videos on our YouTube channel. Check that one out. But on that video, we had a little bit to say about AEW and the general dim-wittedness of a majority of their fans, it seems, or maybe just the most vocal. I don't want to say majority, but it's, again, in the matter of days, it has become even more ridiculous. And it is again coming from the All Elite Wrestling group on Facebook. These people are fucking insane. I'm sorry. Some of these people have their heads up their ass. Okay. I'm going to read, right? This is how it's got. I took a screenshot of this because it blew my mind, dude. It blew my mind how wrestling fans, I don't know the age of this guy. I don't know anything, but he looks like an old guy. He looks like he's like 50 years old, okay? And this is commenting on MJF, okay? And this is, I mean, we all know what wrestling is and we love it for what it is, okay? And this guy, his head's in the clouds, mate. His head's in the clouds, right? So here goes nothing. Okay. I won't tell you this guy's name because we don't want anything, untoward to happen to this guy digitally. But basically, this was his post, okay? Okay, so here's the deal. I don't give a damn what anyone thinks about my opinion. Hate me, like me, I don't really give a damn. But the truth is, MJF sucks. End of story. What has this guy done to deserve a title shot? What? Run his mouth about how damn good he is? Yes, he's undefeated in AEW, but it's only because he had outside help. He, Block Capitals, cannot win a match on his own. He's an embarrassment and a joke. Yes, he's good behind the mic, but that's all he's good for. And to anyone who's a fan of MJF, I say this. You're a bigger dumbass than he is. Anyone who followed him and signed his idiotic little petition, you're a joke just like him. End of post.
Ooh.
Wow. Just to keep everybody up to speed, MJF went on and said that he's actually created a petition to get Moxley's move banned from AEW. Okay,
I'm just gonna say I'm a fan of MJF. Like
I love him, dude. I absolutely love him. And like you say, he might not be the greatest in-ring performer. People are saying whatever, but he's not the worst. And his character is doing it. He's a heel of the highest order. The fact that he created a petition and he's trying to get people to sign it to ban Moxley's move from AEW, and people are buying it, dude. People are buying it. Is kayfabe back? Is it back, or are these people just fucking idiots?
I mean, was the guy doing it in character? Was he trying to cut his own promo via Facebook? I don't know.
No, dude, I don't think so, man. This guy, it's still real to him, damn it. Yeah, it's still real to him, damn it. And one of the comments,
waiting for that.
And one of the comments is, someone tell this guy that wrestling is scripted. It will blow his mind. It's like, it's not the first thing that I've seen this week where you've got, you've just got people, I don't understand it. Like, you've got another guy saying that Mox made a good point when he said that MJF is hiding. Also, if they want to ban Paradigm Shift, then definitely need to consider banning Wardlow and from ringside and use of the ring. I don't know. He's probably not great in the mind. Also, if MJF uses any cheating or dirty tactics, just have to have the title, then AEW should disqualify him. And that's the bottom line. It's real to these fuckers, dude. It's like watching EastEnders, okay, and then shouting at Ross Kemp in the street and calling him Grant Mitchell. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, these people are fucking... These people are special. Right.
But for anyone outside of the UK, EastEnders is a popular evening soap. Relatively popular, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, sorry. It's like, for example, it would be like, I don't know. It's like you're like calling a soap opera character by their soap opera. It'll be like shouting at Jennifer Aniston in the street and calling her by her friend's character name.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's how deep it runs with these idiots. But that's it from me, basically. Like, and they're obsessed as well. A lot of these, and let's not get it twisted. This is not every AEW fan. This is not everybody that watches AEW. This is just the more vocal and quite a large percentage of these people that I think we have named the Moxley marks. We have coined the phrase Moxley marks. These people, in one breath, they're saying, "Oh, we can't. Why are they signing so many ex-WWE guys?" And then in the next breath, they're just saying this shit, bigging up Moxley and making out he's the fucking greatest. Like, it's actually starting to get a bit painful now. And I'm glad we're watching late 90s fucking wrestling and not watching this shit.
The good stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it's incredible, dude. I mean, I know you've got something to say on this as well, because it's incredible, man. It's incredible.
Right. Yeah, I think it's my turn.
I need to cool off with an iced drink, I think.
Oh, enjoy that, OJ. My quickish topic is based around the fact that WWE brought in the Thunderdome in Orlando. They've got screens all around that people can be placed on these screens in the crowd as such. But wrestling fans, or fucking keyboard marks, these generic keyboard marks that I've talked about before, that do their best to ruin something so quickly, like Thunderdome, because the first thing that you see on some of these Thunderdome shows is a photo of someone of a KKK guy. You've got the mugshot of the guy that tried to break in and kidnap Sonya Deville, this week or the week before. You've got a picture of Chris Benoit being put up. Yeah, an MJF sign, someone saying "Fire Velveteen Dream." Sure, should he be fired? Who knows? But again, this is my problem with. It is a smaller part of a wrestling fan base that try and get their online infamy for 5 minutes. By doing something stupid like putting up a KKK picture. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I've got to be, and I put in the thing, I called them smarks, but they're not smart. They're marks. They're lazy marks trying to get this 5 minutes because they're too fucking pathetic to get in a ring and take a bump. They haven't got the ability or the know-how or even the fucking sense to try and get in the ring and do exactly what these guys do to entertain them. No, they get them. They're lucky enough to get onto the Thunderdome, be part of that crowd, and they fuck about with it. And this is why wrestling fans are seen as they are. It's that small group of people that cannot help themselves and think, "Oh, I'm going to try and get myself over this week." Nobody fucking cares about you. Not literally, nobody cares about your stupid sign or your attempt to be Twitter famous and get 10 retweets from your goony friends. And I got one more thing. It's AEW trying to reintroduce crowds. Good luck to them in Florida. I mean, that's its own crazy case of corona. But yes, they're trying to introduce crowds back in, very smaller things back into the place where they're holding Dynamite. And as usual, when anything goes on sale for ticket-wise, got a nice little group of ticket tout bastards trying to gouge these fans by buying them all up as quickly as they can and then selling them on at inflated prices. So it's a kick in the teeth for AEW fans that want to go and see it, that being sold these tickets on ridiculous price. I know Tony Khan tried to step in and said, "Look, if you are caught selling these tickets, you're banned." Blah blah blah. But it's this ticket touting and they can go fuck themselves too. It's just people, just honest people trying to watch a wrestling show.
This is why we can't have nice things, dude.
Yeah, there you go. That's exactly
because the garbage humans. This is why we can't have nice things. This is why, wrestling, as you say, this is why wrestling fans are seen as a certain type of person, because probably the majority of people are fucking jagoffs, man. It is fucking annoying. And let's not even get into Dave Metzer comparing Moxley to Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Sorry, if for anyone that's listening on the podcast, I've just put my head on my hand and like I'm so over that ridiculous comparison. Not even close.
It's I mean, we're not making any fucking friends with this start of this episode, but frankly,
Well,
we
might.
don't give we don't give a fuck, man, really. Like we're entitled to our opinion, and that is our opinion. People, stop being fucking idiots. Whether you like MJF or you don't, or like say I don't actually understand the reasoning, because he's doing heel stuff and people are saying, oh, disqualify him. And like Ric Flair in the 90s in WCW, every match he was pretty much winning by cheating with Woman and Elizabeth and everything like that. And it's like, are people going to be like, oh, fucking disqualify him, you know? But it's not. It's because MJF is going against their god Moxley, who, for whatever reason...
It comes down to Woman, though, doesn't it, Chris?
I don't get me started on Woman, man. You know, she was just fantastic in WCW, man. Just period.
Shall we get to it?
I'll tell you what. Let's get to it, because we've got a lot of things to say about this pay-per-view. I've also got a lot of merchandise. I've got a lot of signed items that I'm going to be showing you punks and punkettes out there. So this is a rant over. We've had our iced drink to cool us off, and now we're back. The main man JB, Chris Dredd, Chat, Grapple and Cheap Pops podcast, episode 15. And it is WWF Backlash 1999. And as per usual, I was watching the VHS. I didn't need Jordan to deliver this one. I've still not given him back his Super Brawl 1, but I have actually bought Super Brawl 1 and 2 now on VHS.
You're hoping to use that voucher on the front that gets you a couple
of... man, that's £3 off that expired in 1993. So yeah, I was watching WWF Backlash on the lovely VHS, and it does say exclusive, never before seen backstage footage. If you can see, there's not a lot of it. If I'm honest, I don't think there's a lot of it. But there's a couple of bits of extra footage.
Seems
that
like
we might get to see.
Coliseum Video Silvervision exclusive sort of dropped off a bit in the later 90s.
Yeah,
it wasn't like the early 90s where you just had tons of it coming at you, like, you know. But yeah, it is Backlash. It is April the 25th. It is 1999. I was a very young, 12 years old when this first aired. I did manage to watch Sunday Night Heat just beforehand, and this little bit surprised me. I've got like a couple of lines on Heat. They did a really brief sort of like open sort of tribute to Ravishing Rick Rude, who had died on the 20th of April in 99 of heart failure. They found the line was mixed medication in his body, so it could have been prescription, it could have been anything. But the term mixed medication leaves it so open for, you know, suggestion that he was taking something that he shouldn't have been. And yeah, I didn't really like that, but
there is the idea that Rick Rude actually tried to kill himself, isn't there?
I haven't heard that one. I heard that he was in training for a comeback during this time, so
right.
I'm not sure. Yeah, killing himself would have been the way to get a comeback on the go.
It was crazy because he got a payout from his Lloyd's of London insurance and everything, and you know, Bischoff said that he wouldn't have him back because it would cost too much money.
Yeah.
And all that, they'd have to pay out $250,000 to pay back his Lloyd's of London and all this. And I mean, I love Rick Rude, man. You know, we're fans. So yeah, it's always sad when we lose a guy. You know.
Yeah, it is. It won't be the last time we mention something sad in this one. like I said, the Heat recap, the signs everywhere. Something I noticed straight away. The signs during the Attitude Era, just
Yeah.
some of them are just so wild. One of the first signs I saw just said "muff."
Muff. Yeah, I saw that Muff one. There's also a couple of WCW ones cussing WCW.
Yeah.
This is because this is in Hartford. This is near Hartford, Connecticut. This is Providence Civic Center, Rhode Island. So it's like a WWF stronghold. You know, it's like next door. Yeah, it's home base, man. You know, this is a hotbed for WWF. And yeah, the crowd are wild. The signs are wild. Yeah, great.
Heat. Val Venus and Nicole Bass beat D'Lo and Ivory. Again, like, I'm not going to talk about the match itself. Like, it was a quick match. Nicole Bass was stepping in for Chris's favourite wrestler, Sable. And then afterwards, Nicole Bass offered it on a plate to Val, the big Val Boski, and he did a runner. So that was a bit weird and also a little bit gross. Droz and Prince Albert, or Albert A-Train, squashed too much.
You can see his figure right up there, actually. His WWF Heat figure right there. Prince Albert.
And this was one that I was surprised would have been on Heat. Kane beat the Big Boss Man on Heat, just like that.
It's crazy, yeah, because Kane at this time was one part of the tag team champions with X-Pac.
And that's right. He was a half of the tag team champions. He beats the Boss Man. Viscera beats Test. And then you've got the Boss Man and Test arguing about it. You know, big deal. No one cares. Our referee for the main event of the evening on the pay-per-view, Shane McMahon, comes out and he announces that the main event is going to be no holds barred and that Steve Austin cannot touch him. And if he does, he can disqualify him and take the belt away from him. And just as we get to the end, the limo pulls up and Vince and Stephanie hop out, and that's Heat. That was it. You sort of notice that the crowd is building. It's quite a decent crowd there. It is Providence. It is a WWF. You know, wouldn't say a massive town because the attendance is a sellout, but it's just shy of 11,000. Pay-per-view numbers. Now, I always love talking about pay-per-view numbers purely because certain companies could never reach these numbers in their wildest dreams. Pay-per-view buy rate for Backlash was half of WrestleMania the month before. But WrestleMania the month before drew 800,000 buys.
Was it WrestleMania 14 with Mike Tyson as well?
No, 15.
It was 15, yeah, sorry.
15 had an Austin Rock main event, and 800,000 buys. Certain companies that people love so much can't even get 100,000 buys. So let's keep it real. Yes, just shy of 400,000 buys this did. So they got a bit of a drop off from WrestleMania, even though they had Austin and Rock main eventing again, but it's still a pretty good number, 400,000.
So it's just an in-your-house monthly pay-per-view, though, bro, as well.
Yeah, big main event.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, really, again, good numbers, good money. I mean, they're on a roll at this point, WWF. WCW has fallen by the wayside. They are not pulling in, they're not making great shows anymore. And we get to another big in your house. And now Jerry Lawler and Jim Ross are our commentary team for the evening, and I forgot how fucking smooth they were together.
Yeah. They're pretty good. You know, they had the dynamic working well. JR with the hot on the heels of stuff that the King was saying. The King's coming thick and fast. There is one point in this where he nearly has a heart attack, and we'll get to that.
Well, yeah, it's Uncle Jerry, isn't it?
It's Uncle Jerry. It's it's they're very smooth. They're very, very smooth together. At this point, they're done quite a few pay-per-views together. You know, they're working well, and it's a good partnership. You know, we talk about Bobby the Brain Heenan being the god of commentary, you know, and him and Gorilla, for me, probably can't be matched. But this is a very similar, a similar pairing, you know, similar dynamic.
Yeah, it's very good. Jerry's very, you know, he's quick with one-liners, and Jim Ross is quick to rein him in or, you know, get at him for it. He doesn't threaten to throw him out of there like Gorilla would with Bobby, but it is good stuff. First match of the evening. I mean, this is a wild opener for so many reasons. It's the Brood. It's Edge, Christian, and Chris's favorite wrestler, Gangrel, against Midian and the Acolytes, formerly or soon to be APA. And just quickly, he's wearing a white top, but it is Christian. I don't know if you can see that. Christian in his Brood gear.
So Jordan's got Christian, and I've got a signed from Super Slam Wrestling. I've got a signed Gangrel picture right there, because I met the guy. I got a sick picture with him, and this is signed by all the other wrestlers as well. Pay a $5, you know, you meet the wrestlers afterwards, and it just so happened to be Gangrel. Got a brilliant picture, lovely autograph, and that is the first of a few autographs you're going to see tonight, and that is the head of the Brood, Mr. Gangrel.
Yeah, they have their awesome theme music. They don't have the opening where they come out through the ground. It's not type of arena. The Brood have only just left the Undertaker's ministry, which is something that's taken off in '99.
Well, there was an issue because, you know, the Brood were in and of itself a group, and they set off like wildfire. I mean, they weren't even really supposed to. It wasn't even really a thing. I mean, Vince didn't even really like the vampire gimmick. There's a really, really great shoot interview with Gangrel online, a really, really good one. There's a couple, but he talks about this, and he talks about how the Brood weren't really supposed to go that far. They were actually trying to push Edge. Edge was trying to get, they were trying to get Edge up there, and he was told personally, look, we're trying to push Edge. We're trying to get him out there, you know. And Gangrel, the whole time he worked, excuse me, the whole time he worked in WWE, I mean, he worked his arse off, you know, he really did. He was here, there, and everywhere. And yeah, I mean, the Brood weren't really supposed to go that far, but they just caught fire and got massive. They were absolutely huge. And then they kind of integrated them in with the ministry and the Undertaker. And even Gangrel talks about in the shoot interview, he says, look, I told Edge and Christian as soon as they integrated us with the ministry that the Brood was finished, you know, because the ministry was large and all that. And then basically they had this angle where Christian, where they were all in the ministry all together, and then Christian was like tied up and he was getting flogged, you know, and like by the ministry members. And then obviously Edge and Gangrel rescued him, saved him, and then now they're feuding with the ministry, and they're here. It's Edge and Christian and Gangrel versus the Acolytes, which was Bradshaw and Ron Simmons, or Farouk, and Midian, who was one of the Godwins.
He was a Godwin. He was Shanghai Pierce.
Shanghai Pierce, that's right.
Yeah. It's and something I noticed straight away is that good old JBL Bradshaw, he's not selling too much in this.
No,
he is probably the biggest guy in the match. He's pretty broad, pretty wide, and yeah, he doesn't want to. Looks like he doesn't really want to sell for Christian too much.
No. It looks at certain points that Gangrel gets in and probably has to have a word with him as well, because you know. But if you look at Ron Simmons and Bradshaw, you know, two veterans in the business. You know, Midian has been in the business for a very long time. Gangrel at this point had probably been pro for about 15 years. You know, the newest guys was Edge and Christian, and it disappointed me that Edge weren't wearing the white shirt, bruv. It annoyed me. He should have been wearing the white shirt. Christian was there backing it. You know what I mean? If the Brood's the Brood, wear the white shirt, man. Get the blood on it. God damn it.
Yeah. It was a huge spinebuster from Ron Simmons. Farouk, sorry, you know, he's Ron Simmons too.
Yes.
Yeah, huge spinebuster. Really well done on Edge. Midian sucks chants.
Loads of them, yeah,
You can tell the crowd's like heavy on it, like going to be on it for most of the show, because they're chanting at Midian, who I didn't quite get it as a character. I didn't get it then, won't get it now. Like, yeah, just didn't. The Midian character never worked for me. You know, he can be Shanghai Pierce, he can be, you know, Phineas Godwin, but yeah, that's it. And yeah, it started to get a little bit slow, and it didn't, like, even myself, I started to tune out a bit in this until we got the corner sort of step ladder planches, splashes.
Yeah,
from the Brood.
I mean, there was a good Edge spear off the turnbuckle, because Edge was getting battered. You know, it was. I was starting to tune out a little bit, but then there was some good teamwork from the Brood. Really good teamwork. But yeah, and then JR calls Bradshaw Hoss, which is also great. Yeah, and then someone turns up.
Yeah, there was a decent tornado DDT from Christian to Bradshaw.
Yes.
And then Viscera, Big Vis, Mabel, or, you know, as Meltzer like to call him, the third man. He still insists he never wrote that. Yeah, Viscera squashes Christian up against the apron on the outside, and we get a clothesline from Hell, and that's it. They're out.
Because what had happened? Mabel had been he'd come back at the Royal Rumble, if I believe. He'd come back at the Royal Rumble, and the Ministry had kidnapped him and taken him, and then he then returned as Viscera.
Yeah.
After that, so yeah, it was an all right match, I thought, but it wasn't very creative. I don't quite understand. I mean, it was a good starter, just literally for the Brood intro. You know, that song will never not be a banger. Yeah, it is like, wow, dum 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 dum, wow. You know, just walking down to the ring like that. You know, and you had my man Gangrel bopping his head with his cup of blood. He
was always bopping, wasn't he?
Amazing dude. And obviously, when we shout out Gangrel, we've also got to shout out Luna Vachon as well. Rest in peace, Luna. Yeah, you know, great characters, great stuff, but a bit of a meh match. But it was all right starter.
The Rock arrives backstage with his with Stone Cold Smoking Skull custom WWF Championship, and it's hardcore title time.
Yeah, it's hardcore title time.
He's not my favorite wrestler, I will say that. But for some reason, here's an Al Snow figure. Sweet.
Nice, dude.
It's a Jack specific, and it's old, but you can still see the word "help me" on his forehead.
Brilliant. So Jordan's got Al Snow, but I have got in my little box of tricks, I've got a signed.
Oh, if you're gonna have a picture of Hardcore Holly, that's the one you want.
That's the one you want, baby. Oiled up, ready. Look at him. Fucking absolute specimen. Look at him. And there's the Hardcore Holly signature.
Right by the bulge on his jeans, yeah.
Right by. Oh, I told you don't interrupt me when I'm cleaning my room. Don't interrupt me when I'm polishing my figures. Yeah, Hardcore Holly. This match, dude, I know you're not a fan of Al Snow, but I do want to ask you a question. On the back of this match, do you respect him for this match? Were you a fan?
Never about disrespect. Absolutely.
Oh no! I don't mean that. You just meant yeah. I mean, but you know, what did you think of him in this match?
I mean, as a match, it's okay. There are way better matches, even a better there's even a better hardcore match in this show. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. It's fine. I was never a fan of the gimmick.
No, I mean, he didn't really, yeah.
You know, sure, like he's trying to sell crazy, and there's just looking like a dick, you know, and that's what he does. You know, the Job Squad thing, like, you know, was it a parody of the NWO? They say it wasn't, but you know,
I think it was. I think it was.
Yeah, look at the logo.
You look at the logo, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm on the other side of the spectrum on this one. I thought it was a great match.
Okay.
I actually really enjoyed it. I thought it was quite good as hardcore matches go. The commentary was great on it.
I mean, Jerry Lawler absolutely buries Al.
Oh, he does constantly.
Yeah, he's clearly not a fan either.
No, it's you know, I thought it was a really good match. And for those of you who are familiar with the "Don't try this at home" ads on WWF, WWE that would come to follow, it would have Hardcore Holly, a picture of the image of Hardcore Holly, the video of him with a laceration all the way across his back, just absolutely pissing blood.
Yeah.
And it was not nice to see, but that's Hardcore Holly's back in that "Don't try this at home."
Yeah, that was in a match with RVD, wasn't it? In ECW?
Yes, yeah. It was.
Is Al's cut hard way?
Yes, yes. It happens straight away, and it's with the water.
Oh, was it? I thought it was with the title belt.
Oh no, actually, yeah, because the title belt was before the water,
yeah.
And it's only that's right, because they go they go under the ring. Now you would have thought that they would have removed the Raw is War skirt from round the ring rather than just slapping the other one over it.
Yeah.
Because when they're going to get the plunder under the ring, they keep pulling it up, and there's two of them, and you can see the Raw is War skirt underneath the main one. But yeah, they're going to get the plunder from under the ring, and you can see him doing that. And then it's hot. He gets busted open hard way. I've got a little story about being busted open hard way as well. I was at the seaside the other day with my boy, and we were throwing sand and all that. I was in the sea, I was flying my kite, lovely, and he starts launching rocks and spinning them across the water, and he launches one and it cracks me right in my head and nearly knocked me out. And I don't know if you can see because my camera's not great, but I've got some dirty yellow bruise on my head, and I was busted open hard way there by the boy. So yeah, that's just a little anecdote for you guys there. But yes, he was busted open hard way by the belt. And then obviously he gets the water. Holly gets the water and cracks him. But it was a pretty bad cut, dude, as well. It was actually pretty bad on Snow's head.
Oh, I thought we were talking about the new hardcore champion, your son.
Oh no, he is the new hardcore champion. Bless him, man. He felt so bad as well. But then he was joking afterwards and kept saying I had a dumpling on my head, mocking me. Yeah, no, he's ruthless, dude. The cut was pretty bad.
Young Dread is our new hardcore champion for the year.
He is, man. You had also the hockey stick kung fu from Al Snow.
Yeah.
I bet you love that. Look at his face. Look at his little face as soon as I mentioned that. I knew you would have hated that.
Was it from when he was Avatar or, whatever it was?
The Last Airbender.
He had that gimmick Avatar. He was
Yeah.
Cassidy,
Cassidy, yeah.
Yeah.
Cassidy.
Yeah.
New Rocker.
I mean, there was a springboard moonsault off the barricade, which I quite liked.
That was very good. Yes, it was. That was very good.
But here's where it made me laugh, because the table got a bigger pop than both guys in the ring.
It did get a massive pop, and even when it gets to the end of the match, even the King says, "Oh, the only thing that hasn't been broken is that table is still left in the ring." There's a few good spots in this. There's lots of police out the back, so they go out the back, they drag it out of the ring, and they go back behind the scenes. and there's like literally like 10 police just standing around. Like as soon as they come out, and he goes to like, Hardcore Holly goes to whack his head against the thing. Basically, they all just scatter and move out the way. But that was a thing I found funny, how many police were hanging around and just chilling out the back.
They literally use the kitchen sink in this.
They literally do. It's everything in the kitchen sink. It's, the car spots. You got the alarm going off, and you've got, the dump.
I think the joke is that they always used Fink's car whenever they were doing car spots. Yeah. It was always poor Fink's rental car that would get a whack.
That's right. Is it the Fink's car? They actually mention it, and then they've got the dumpster spot where like someone gets tossed in the dumpster. I think Al Snow gets tossed in the dumpster, and then Hardcore Holly does a splash into it, and even the referee gets in and gives them a 2 count in the dumpster.
Yeah, Jerry said he always knew that Al was trailer trash.
That's right. He goes, yeah, I always knew Al Snow was white trash, and then and he goes, oh, make sure you hose yourself down before you come back in here.
There's a hip toss onto the roof of a car. There's a frying pan gets used. They finally get back to the ring. There's a superplex through the table. The table ends up ripping through the ring. Something I noticed, it just tears into the ring mat, and that it gets taped up for the rest of the show. And then it feels like they sell forever and a day after this table spot. And then Al gets head.
Does he? I missed that. He grabs. Sorry, yeah.
And he hits Hardcore Holly with the head, and he wins the match. And it's such a shit finish to an all right match,
Yeah, because even the King says, "What after all that?" And it ends with head being cracked with head. Is a bit of a crazy one because it was a bit of a slobber knocker, man. It was,
Yeah. It was okay. It was. There is worse later on in the show, so I'm not going to complain. It didn't make me want to turn it off or anything, so no complaints.
No complaints. All right, that's good. I like I say, I enjoyed it. I quite enjoyed the match. I enjoyed the commentary very much. I thought it was pretty good. And then we get Stone Cold. They cut quite quickly from the end of that to Stone Cold bowlsing through.
Stone Cold arrives. The cutaway is also to The Undertaker forgiving his ministry minions because they won, so they were forgiven for whatever they did. And then we have the Intercontinental Championship match, and this is just going to be. Let's just remind everyone it's 1999, and it's a very different time.
Yeah,
Gold Dust with the blue meanie against our Intercontinental Champion, the Godfather. But before anything takes place, we get the meanie grind.
It's great, man.
Yeah.
For all the men that want to be me and the women who came here to see me, are you ready for the grind?
JR gets a great line in, put the women and children to bed, hurry.
Hurry, it's right. And I think the King says, the blue meanie, the original reason the double bed was invented. It's fucking brutal, man. But I love the blue meanie. I think he's really great. I think in ECW, when they had the Blue World Order and you had, Stevie Richards, the blue meanie, Raven, Nova, and you had Nova was like Macho Man, and you had the meanie was like the blue guy, and he was, it was just, it's great stuff, man. It's absolutely great stuff. The blue meanie doesn't get near as much credit that he deserves, really, as a character, really. And him and Gold Dust together is a very strange pairing, but good fun, man. Really good fun because Terry's gone at this point.
For anyone that is that's new to wrestling or doesn't watch wrestling, never watched it, never seen what we're talking about now, or hasn't even bothered watching 1999 stuff and is still into the new stuff, Godfather was a pimp.
And they didn't even hide it, bro.
No way around
it. Didn't even hide it.
And he comes out. The fans boo him when he first comes out because he doesn't bring out what pimps usually bring with them, and that's ladies, or in this case, they're referred to as hoes. And he gets a wild cheer because these 5 hoes come out. I'm doing the quotation marks because this is what I'm referring to. And there's these 5 ladies. They come out. There's one with really huge set of hair.
and at that point, when the one with the massive hair, when she walks, it's when she comes up the stairs and the camera's on her, you just hear the king near enough like bust his nuts. He's just, he's like, woohoo, the hose, JR. He nearly has a heart attack.
Uncle Jerry is loose here, and he is loving everything about this bit. Godfather gets into the ring, he gets on the mic, he goes through his wonderful catchphrases. Time for everyone to come aboard the whole
train.
And he's telling them to light up 420 style.
Pimping ain't easy.
Yeah, pimping ain't easy. He normally, on occasion, he would offer some of his hoes to his opponent, but Goldust doesn't get that offer tonight because they don't like no scrubs.
No, they don't like no scrubs. It's just, it's so crazy, man. And you've got the king saying to JR, "Oh, who's your favourite hoe, JR?" And he says, "Oh, I can't. I'm a happily married man. My wife's there in Connecticut. I'll tell you later."
It's just, it's this is the, like, and Jerry says, like, himself goes, "This is sports entertainment." I'm like, you're fucking right, it is. It's
fucking right. But also, in a way, dude, it for me anyway, this is an intercontinental match, okay? So the Intercontinental belt is quite a prestigious belt, I would say. It was at this time.
Yeah, it was.
Goldust had been the champion. The Godfather had just beaten him and taken the title off him. And if you look at the 2 guys that we've got in the ring, I'm going to get a bit serious now because it is a bit of a fucking ridiculous match. And these are 2 veterans in the game, bro, that we're looking at in the ring right now. Take off the fucking stupid glasses, the hose, pimps up, hose down. Take all that away. Take away the fucking gold paint and all the stupid shit. I mean, this is Dustin Rhodes, son of Dusty Rhodes, the Natural. This is someone who had been in the business for years and years before this, grinding, wearing cowboy boots and fucking stupid waistcoats. But, and we've also, on the other hand, we've got, Papa Shango, Karma, these guys, there's probably about 40 odd years of ring experience in the ring at this point. And it's been, all I've got here is 2 veterans in the game degraded to a pimp and a freak. Like,
yes and no. Because chances are Godfather probably never made more money in wrestling than under his Godfather gimmick.
I agree.
He probably sold more merchandise and everything because it was a sign of the time. People, were loving this whole pimping stuff and being a big shot and that. Goldust is Goldust. There's no... chances are in '99 they were both making more money than they ever did.
I mean, you're probably right there. I think it's just me, like, I don't know, man. Like, I felt it was always a rib on Dustin, them giving him the Goldust character. But we have said before, he absolutely slayed it, bro. Yeah. He ran with it and he made it his own. And like you say, he's probably made more money as Goldust than he'd ever made in the business. Yeah. There's also another great story about the Goldust versus Piper match that they had, where he had the gold.
Oh, the backlot brawl. Yeah.
Yeah, the backlot brawl. And then it was supposed to look like the O.J. Simpson chase, where you had Piper in the white Bronco and that, and they,
greatest car chase in history, O.J. Simpson, bar none.
Unbelievable, So there's also, there's a great story where Dustin Rhodes is talking about that and what actually happened, where Piper, like, they weren't they didn't want any blood or something, and he said, no, just bust me open the hard way, and Piper was just punching him right in the middle square and broke his hand on his head. It's just a great story. It's absolutely great story. But yeah, I think it's just me feeling a little bit bad for him, the fact that he was given that gimmick, but he did run with it. And like you say, man, you've set me straight, really. They actually probably did make more money as the Godfather and Goldust than they'd made in their whole career. Probably right, dude.
Papa Shango was probably a little bit like lucrative with the figure market and stuff like that. It was a cool figure to have and to look at. But it's the Godfather, he's, there was a time probably in '99 where some of these blokes wanted to be the Godfather. So,
Well, the king says, I want to grow up and be a Godfather.
Yeah. Uncle Jerry, just being Uncle Jerry. Blue Meanie trips Godfather, Goldust takes control for a bit. This is slapstick to no end. Let's be honest.
Oh yes.
Goldust empties his little bag of powder. Godfather just whacks it up into his face. He can't see. He ends up laying out Meanie and giving him the shattered dreams kick to the nuts.
Yeah.
Why didn't Meanie just say, "It's me, Meanie"? Like, don't kick me in the jewels, man. Like. Just he hits the he hits the hoe train. Like, he shouldn't have to say that in 2020. He hits.
Was it a Death Valley Driver, isn't it?
Yeah, and he hits the hoe train first, and then the Death Valley Driver.
Yeah,
celebrates with his hose.
But he doesn't just celebrate with his hose. He picks one of them up like a baby, right? And then falls down on the floor. Like, he picks her up, almost flashing her Jack and Danny to everyone at ringside. If anyone who's American and doesn't know what a Jack and Danny is, it's Cockney rhyming slang.
Look it up,
Look it up. So he picks her up, flashes her Jack and Danny at everyone, and then falls over on the floor with her on top of him, and all the hoes get on top of him and start, slapping him. And
it's a hose.
It's absolutely crazy. Like, and at this time I was 17 years old watching this, thinking, obviously, I want to be the Godfather, But yeah, it was, you watch it now, 21 years down the line, and you're thinking, man, this is fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's wild. It's so out there. Michael Cole finds Al Snow sitting in possibly a shower or something. Al calls him Todd, which I thought was quite funny.
Yeah.
And then just starts talking to his head. Yeah. Like I said, the gimmick sucks. Like, there's no way around it. But he spends the rest. He kicks Todd or Michael Cole out and carries on talking to the mannequin head. And I've lost interest by this point.
No, it's because Head's trying to say that he's the one that got the pin. He goes, what hand did you pin him with? He's like, the hand that I was holding you with. And he went, aha. Yeah. See, I was sold on it, dude. I was sold on it, man.
You're into it. Because did you have your Job Squad T-shirt on as well?
I didn't, man. No, but I did have some pen written. Help me on my head. But I think because I really enjoyed him in ECW, I thought he was good. And as a worker, I think Al Snow's actually a really good wrestler. He is actually not a bad worker at all. But yeah, like you say, maybe the gimmick weren't all that.
Next up, number one contenders match for the tag team titles. And they will be, the winners of this match will face the tag team champions on a new show, or a one-off show at the moment on UPN this week, called SmackDown. It was a one-off event at that point that they were putting on to see if it worked on Thursday nights. And it's the pop for these two, for the Outlaws.
Great. Oh, dude.
Jesus.
It literally, the roof nearly came off. As soon as you hear the dun 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 dun, like, it just fucking, the roof exploded, mate.
There's a pop for the other team too, but it's for something different. But they do they go through the Outlaws bit. Road Dogg is incredible on the mic. He's got so much, but it's very 90s when you listen to it, because it's a lot of shiznit and all of that.
In this biznitch.
Yeah, it's like, oh dear. Like, I was.
Dude, sorry.
Very 90s.
It was very, but dude, the fucking pop at the soon to be tag team champions of the world. Like the crowd went absolutely loopy. Like they were insane. And this is like this is a New York crowd, ain't it?
Kind of, yeah. It's the Northeast, yeah. So
You know, these people were rowdy, man. There was people with their shirts off. There was like, oh, dude, people were going absolute dog shit crazy, man. I was loving it, just crowd watching. There was one sign.
I didn't
that
see
said,
anyone in the crowd this time that I wanted to pick out. It's not like double denim guy or the geezer in his pants or nothing like that.
nah, it
But,
was just a couple of signs.
yeah.
There was a WCW one that said wheelchair wrestling.
I've seen a few of those before. I hope that wasn't a dig on Buff Bagwell, but you know.
Oh, dude.
Like from back in the day, but I know that
yeah,
he had another issue this week, didn't he?
He's in a bad way. I think he had a car accident.
Yeah, I don't really know where to go on that one.
I think he's not in a good way, man. If I'm honest with you, I think he's someone that DDP should really take into that house, bro.
He apparently did some cameo videos that were a little bit like out there and off key and stuff. Like people were paying for that as well, which doesn't help.
No, I mean we love Buff. He's got the stuff.
Oh, yeah.
He's you know, he was incredible at a certain era. He fucking had it all, man. You know that strap match.
Yeah.
That we covered in what event was it that we covered that in?
Oh, it was like an uncensored or a slight.
I think it was yes, right. It was uncensored. Yeah. You know, he was incredible. He had it all. He really did.
And the Outlaws in this match, the New Age Outlaws, are taking on Jeff Jarrett and Owen Hart with Deborah, and the pop again is wild, but it's a pop purely for males only.
It's the puppy pop.
It's the puppy pop, yeah. Because Deborah comes out in the craziest of outfits. It's just a bra and a thong and a red jacket over it, like a little.
That's it, dude. Yeah, it just says with Deborah brackets wearing fuck all in my notes.
Yeah,
and she's and at this point, right? So Deborah was a McMichael.
I don't think they were together anymore at this point.
Not at this point, but she was at one point, wasn't she? So she was married to Mongo McMichael.
Yeah.
Then she actually married Stone Cold Steve Austin.
She did, yeah.
And was she ever with Jeff Jarrett?
I don't think so.
I saw a great meme the other day, and I must share it with you. It was Jeff Jarrett and Karen Angle, and they're standing there, they're like holding hands or whatever, taking a picture. And it says, the best angle Jeff Jarrett has ever been in. It just tickled me.
Should have seen that one coming.
It was so good, man. The best angle Jeff Jarrett's ever been in. So Deborah was kind of like wrestling fodder at this point, I think.
She's the babyface in this match. Like,
I mean, she is actually the babyface. But can I say, how long was it after this that Jarrett was in WCW? Can't have been that long.
December, I think.
So we're talking like 6-7 months or whatever.
November, December. Yeah, he'll be gone towards the end of '99.
Did Deborah go with him at that point? No.
No, Deborah stayed. Yeah. We get a cheap pop from Road Dogg. Very quick one. I don't know if you noticed it.
A cheap pop?
Yeah, very cheap pop from Road Dogg about Providence and all that, yeah.
Oh, I didn't catch that, yeah.
Just before Billy tries to get his arse out.
Oh, yeah, because because he says about the puppies, and he goes, yeah. He says, I don't really want to see it. He said, but I know Billy does, and all you fans have come here to see it. He said, so I'm the dog, so let's see the puppies. And then basically, yeah, he says, yeah, Billy, show them that arse. And then they start getting beat down by Owen and Jeff before that can happen.
Big nugget chance for Owen. We get the Jarrett strut, which is always great. There's a lot of chance of show your puppies.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah. We get the Owen Enziguri and the spin heel kick, which is absolutely spot on.
He's great, man. He can work his ass off. You know, Owen was Owen in this. He was great. He did the whole, you know, wrist lock to, you know, spinny, jumpy thingy.
Chain wrestling, man. Yeah.
Yeah, that chain wrestling reversal. Yeah, his spinning heel kicks are always great.
I've got
it's good.
Guys have got their work boots on in this one because they're all going for it. It's
Yeah.
really good. I really enjoyed this. There's a hot tag to Billy. Deborah tries to distract Road Dogg with the goods.
The puppies.
Road Dogg hits a pump handle slam on Owen, complete with thrust action.
He always, where he grabs it and like looks like he's pumping him from behind. I always found that quite unnerving.
Yes. Owen has a sharp shooter on Road Dogg, and Billy hits the famouser for a free count. This is where it doesn't take a nice turn. It is Owen's last pay-per-view in-ring appearance because the next month is Over the Edge. And yeah.
It was a month's time, was it?
It was, pretty much just a month after.
Crazy.
Yeah, I didn't like to be reminded of that, to be honest. When I realised that
I did think when I was watching it that this must have been up one of Owen's last, because obviously it's 1999.
April, yeah.
Jeff Jarrett leaves, and like not long after Owen Hart dies, does he?
Yeah.
So
I didn't enjoy like going like through that, going over that in my head, like realising where we were with Owen, and yeah, it just we just enjoy what we have of it.
Yeah, man. Rest in peace, Owen Hart.
Yeah. And then Billy gets his arse out,
and he's wearing a black thong.
Yeah. The ladies love it. Me, not so much. But yeah,
it was all right.
It's a good match, though. Really good match. I really enjoyed it.
It was a good match. It really was.
Michael Cole's with Shane O'Mac. Shane swears on his grandfather's name that he'll count to 3, you know, if Austin's got a pin on The Rock. And he tells Vince, he's not calling him Dad or whatever, he calls him Vince, to enjoy the show. Go sit in the skybox and enjoy it. And then Kevin Kelly's with Vince and Stephanie, and you know, it's just, oh, Shane's made a mistake, blah blah blah. Didn't really catch much from that, apart from that Stephanie gets a line in there about her granddad or something.
Basically saying he knows why he's invoked that image of my granddad in that. So basically he's saying he's not going to count him because he doesn't give a shit about his granddad. Yeah.
And then it's the Boiler Room Brawl. And this is the better hardcore match of the show.
This is fucking crazy, dude. We nearly witnessed Mick Foley dying in this match, genuinely.
Yeah, there's a couple of like really hairy moments, but before we get to that, here is an old WWF Big Show with hair. I don't know if you can see that because he's wearing a white T-shirt. So my
yeah, I've got that one too. Yeah,
he's got the white T-shirt on that says "It's Showtime," and he's in jeans for some reason.
Well,
why I got these, I'll never know.
When he came in, they were still calling him Paul White.
Paul White, yeah.
But they'd only just started calling him the Big Show, because when he came in as a surprise at St. Valentine's Day Massacre at the end. So he hadn't been in WWE that long at this point. But Cactus Jack, aka Mick Foley, aka Mankind, had known him for quite a while previously in WCW when he was the Giant. Because obviously Mick Foley, Cactus Jack had been in WCW since, you know, the 90s.
Did their paths cross in the mid-90s?
I think so, briefly.
Cactus was in ECW in 95, wasn't he?
Oh, yeah, so maybe they didn't.
They rocked up, yeah. Or Giant, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, the Giant, yeah, maybe not. I mean, I love Mick Foley's work in WCW as Cactus Jack. There's one Beach Blast 92
Sting?
where Mick Foley just literally gave his body up to Sting and just did a hell of a lot of stuff, brutalized himself for that match. And I actually mentioned him on Twitter, and he private messaged me and said, that was one of my favorite matches. I really enjoyed it. Thanks for, appreciating what I did, basically, because I just put it out there that he put his body on the line for Sting during that match.
Yeah.
And talking about Mick Foley putting his body on the line, he fucking puts his body on the line in this. I mean, we are not, I mean, are we past the Royal Rumble where he's taken them chair shots?
Yeah, we're in May at this point.
So we've already covered in one of our previous episodes Mick Foley putting his body on the line to the point of fucking damaging himself, and he does no less in this match that we're gonna talk about now.
We haven't even thought about covering King of the Ring 98 yet, so and that's the one where he fucks himself. But
I tell you, talking about King of the Rings, we should definitely cover King of the Ring 98. But I would really love to cover King of the Ring 2001. Sorry,
okay.
The Shane O'Mac and Kurt Angle.
Oh boy.
Match.
Yeah. Well, Shane liked to throw himself around as well, didn't he? So.
Oh, dude, Shane O'Mac. I mean, Kurt Angle for me is probably. I mean, he's up there. I mean, it's funny actually. We're going a little bit way off course, but you can drag me back in a sec. But I don't buy like new figures really. But two of my favorite wrestlers are Bret the Hitman Hart and Kurt Angle. And I went into the Entertainer with my boy the other day because he wanted to buy some booger balls. Which, they're like some weird slime stuff that you can throw at each other. It's pretty cool. So we went in there, and I don't buy pop figures either. I just don't buy them.
I have two.
But now I have two wrestling pops, and it's Kurt Angle and it's Bret the Hitman Hart, because I saw them in there. They were on special offer. I think Bret Hitman Hart was £6.66. Kurt Angle was a $5, and they're two of my favourite wrestlers. And I bought two pops, and I don't buy pops, but I bought them because they were them two. We've cut back King of the Ring.
I have Sting, black and white Sting, and Macho Man Randy Savage. So.
Oh, two great ones as well, man. To be honest, I didn't even know they'd done a black and white Sting pop.
I got him online. I can't remember. I got a good couple of years ago, but.
Because there's a good Razor Ramon one that I've seen as well, pops.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. I quite like them.
I've actually got a little bit of other merchandise to show you. It's not a pop, but it was made by Funko, and it was. Let me just see the year on it. I mean, we're talking 2010, I think. No, 2016 WWE, but it was a Funko figure. I'll show it later. But yeah, I don't really buy them, but I had to because it was Bret the Hitman Hart and Mr. Angle. But yeah, we're going off it. But yeah, talking about King of the Ring and Mick Foley putting his body on the line. He does it again tonight.
Yeah. It's a boiler room brawl, so first person to leave the boiler room wins the match. They've had a couple in the past. I think Mankind or Foley had one with The Rock, and his first one infamously with The Undertaker in '96.
I remember watching that on Sky, bro. 1996, dude. I was 14, yeah, and I was
as well.
Oh, dude, it was fucking brutal, man. That was absolutely brutal match. The first boiler room brawl.
In this one, Mankind jumps Big Show pretty quickly, but Big Show takes over, and this is where the bumps start, and Foley is just bumping like a nutcase on the hard floor. And there's a fucking weird, like, I don't know what they are. Maybe they're chalkboards or something. But
Yeah,
Big Show throws Mankind into them, and one of them lands on Mick Foley's chest. And Big Show, like, obviously understands that this isn't, like, this is hurting him, because
he has to pull it off.
yeah, just pulls it off and chucks it away. And it's like, Jesus Christ, like, because that landed pretty heavy on his chest, and he let out a scream, like, wasn't very Mankind, Mick Foley.
No, it wasn't. And but before that as well, though, you've got, because after this match we get some bonus footage that I'm not sure you actually got.
I got a little bit after the match, yeah.
Was it after? Because there's another bit where China and Triple H are with Cole,
yeah,
talking about X-Pac.
after that,
and then after that, there's a bit of bonus footage about Big Show and Mankind. And you can see, because basically before all that happens, you've got Big Show. He punches a fridge.
Yes, he does.
He punches a fridge and he dents the top of the fridge. And after you see what he's done to his hand, bro, it is absolute. I mean, oh, dude, it's mental. So, yeah, he punches the fridge. And then, like you say, Mankind's taking all these crazy bumps. And these things, you have to watch this match, because they do look like chalkboards, but I think they're like the side paneling that they're heavy as shit. They look heavy as anything. And this thing lands on Mankind's chest.
Yeah.
And he literally, you can hear the life leave his body when it lands on him, and literally, like, Big Show has to go over and pull it off him so he can actually breathe. And then he leaves him for a second. Did you notice? He pulls it off and pushes him, and then he goes for a little bit of a stroll, walking around, and like looks at him, because I think he even thought, man, he nearly died then.
Mankind gets like a framed bit of glass. Shout out to Tree of Life Framing, because they're probably, doing bits about wasting glass like this. But he smashes it. He smashes it over Big Show's head, and in the process cuts his own hand. And we only see, like, later on how bad this cut is. Because
it's bad.
Yeah, it doesn't look too bad to begin with. You can see it's bleeding, and like his hand's bleeding. But later on, you see how bad it is, and it's pretty grim.
Yeah.
There's a choke slam through a table, like Big Show choke slams,
and it's got
table, and it's got glass on it as well.
Yeah, it's got glass. It's brutal, man. Like that choke slam on the table with the glass. It looks absolutely brutal, man. Crazy.
I'm not gonna, sugarcoat. It's an ugly match, but it's captivating.
Oh, it's crazy, dude. It's not, it's not your wrist lock.
No.
Chain wrestling match, but it was never going to be. Excuse me. It was never going to be. You mean you've got the Big Show and you've got Mankind?
Yeah, it's just, it's just crazy. And he hits a steam valve or whatever it is, like,
yeah.
He breaks that off in Big Show's face, and Mankind wins. Mankind gets out. There's a hilarious picture of Teddy Long just standing there looking at a door that's closed, waiting for someone to come out. Like, what the fuck is he doing there? Like,
it's crazy, man. Like, but you've got Mankind. This is at the point where you see how bad his hand is bleeding, because he's crawling on the floor and he's leaving handprints in blood all the way. And then he crawls up the wall and he puts his hand on the wall, and there's like it looks like the bloody ball from Castaways, with the blood on it.
Just the blood down the wall. And
it's absolutely brutal, man. And we'll get to the extra footage after that when they're talking about the aftermath of this match, and it's great stuff.
Foley, Mankind wins. He gets jumped by Bossman and Tess straight afterwards. Big Show helps him, and they fight him off. And just at the end, Mr. Socko makes his appearance in poor Tess's mouth. Something about a sock stuffed in someone's undertrunks, then being shoved in someone's mouth just doesn't sit right, does it?
No.
No. Michael Cole is with China and Triple H. China says they're going to put X-Pac in his place in their little grudge match. And this is the next bit. This is a bit where we've got some bonus footage. The trainer is trying to patch up the Big Show because Big Show's got a knock on the head, and he's also got this ridiculous bruise and like possibly dislocated finger or something. And he touches it, and you can tell that Show's not impressed.
Dude, I mean, the Big Show's hands are massive anyway, but you can just see the swelling on this hand already, and it's just completely red, bruised. And like you say, he touches the knuckle, and you just, you can hear the wincing. It's just incredible, man. Like, they're trying to sell that he needs stitches on his head, but it didn't look that bad a cut. His hand was actually worse than anything.
Then you got they back through, walking back through the boiler room and saying how his lungs are almost crushed, and he's got this cut on his hand, and it's so messed up. He ends it with "Have a nice day" though, which is quite funny. It's
great, he's walking through and he's like, I don't want to fight the Big Show anymore. I've got kids. He's just crazy. He's walking through and he's like, if police need to can see this as a scene of a crime, if they need any fingerprints, you can see my blood there and there and there. And then he's walking through and it's like, it's crazy. And he goes, as you can see, there was a physical tussle over there. And then it pans over. It's like blood all on the floor. Like, it's absolutely crazy. I mean, it was a better hardcore match than...
Oh, of course it was, yeah.
The hardcore match. And I mean, even the main event of this was a no-hold-barred match, wasn't it, as well?
Yeah, but I mean, I think the main event for me was on another level.
It was crazy. It was crazy.
But before all that, we've got X-Pac and Triple H in a former best friends match. Jim Ross is trying to sell the emotion of it all.
Well, it's funny, dude, actually, as well. Before, when we had China and Triple H with Michael Cole talking about the pecking order, they actually shoot some wrestling terminology out there. There's like, look, we put you over. Like, I put you over. I got you in here, and put you over. And now you're saying this is...
That's got to be a Vince Russo line.
Gotta be. And it's like, and there's a pecking order, talking about the pecking order and all that, it's a bit like they're trying to... Is kayfabe disappearing? They're trying to smarten people up, But yeah, it's a bit crazy, this match. I actually thought it was quite a good match.
It's okay, but the crowd have fallen asleep.
They don't give it the appreciation that they should give it.
Yeah.
It's within the first... I'd say literally within the first 3 minutes, X-Pac nearly breaks his neck doing like a martial arts kung fu kick, and he lands terribly right on the back of his neck. And you can see that for a couple of seconds he's quite dazed and he doesn't know, should I actually be walking right now? It was pretty brutal, literally. Triple H looks like Donald Trump in this. He's orange as shit. He's gone OTT with the Tantrope, and he's orange.
X-Pac takes a really wicked bump over the top rope.
Crazy.
Yeah, he goes flipping over the top rope like as he's being thrown out of the ring, not to do a move or anything. I thought that was really impressive. But again, he misses the Bronco Buster, hits his head on the turnbuckle, and then starts selling a neck injury. And it's clearly a work. It's not like Jim Ross is trying to sell it like he's hurt his neck before and all this.
He's had 2 major and then you see Triple H going and he's like, he probably knows exactly what vertebrates hurt. Like he's picking, like he's counting the vertebrates. Okay, it was the 4th one. Yeah,
assassin after all, isn't he?
Yeah. I found that quite funny.
Jim Ross is selling it like mad. He even calls him Sean Waltman.
He does, yeah. He said they've gone up and down the country together. They were best buddies.
There's a couple of knee drops on the back of his head from Triple H. China starts to get herself involved. this is really more to build the sort of the fighting spirit of X-Pac and how, he's the plucky underdog, the little guy that could, and all that stuff. And it's just not going over with the crowd. The crowd is just, they're bored. And I've got here on my notes, like to the side of it, maybe it's just a little too long.
I think it was a little bit too long. I think it was a little bit drawn out. Because these guys can have one hell of a match.
Yeah, of course.
They really can. But it is a bit drawn out. I mean, China gets involved. She gives him a low blow and then hits him with like a slop drop, like the.
Well, yeah, I've got it down as like a scorpion death drop.
Yeah, it is a scorpion, and then I just put slop drop. I don't know, maybe because Midian's in it, but yeah. Lights go out.
Oh yeah, and that's got to be Kane.
That's got to be Kane. Kane appears. He comes to help X-Pac, and then Chyna's like standing up to him, like she's going to fight him. Yeah. And then JR says Chyna broke Kane's heart before, the second woman to break Kane's heart.
And something I think he used the line like, "Oh, you want to be tough like a man, you get beat like a man,
treated like a man."
Because she gets chokeslammed as well as Triple H. But then Kane makes a mistake and he leaves because X-Pac loses.
Yeah, but basically he drags them both into the corners.
Yeah.
Setting up for two Bronco Busters.
Those two Bronco Buster.
And then he hits the Bronco Buster on Trip, and then he hits it on Chyna, and then as he's like still riding Chyna's chest, Triple H turns him around, bangs him with the fucking pedigree, and gets the win.
And it's like I said, it's an okay match. There's nothing wrong with it. It probably went too long, and the fan sort of dumped on it, and they stay asleep for the next one as well.
I do think it was because in this next match, so the next match, it matches Ken Shamrock, the world's most dangerous man, versus The Undertaker with Paul Bearer. And this is a different looking Paul Bearer, a different looking Undertaker. This is the evolution of The Undertaker. So he's no longer white-faced and quiet. He's quite vocal. He talks a lot. Paul Bearer's completely different. He's slightly bigger, Percy Pringle. But he's a different kind of character. And Shamrock is straight from the UFC. He is the Ultimate Fighting Champion, kind of, mixed martial artist. And The Undertaker digs that, man. The Undertaker really digs it.
And this feels like almost the beginning of The Undertaker, because The Undertaker eventually, through many sort of, years of transition and evolution, becomes very much an MMA guy. And he loves that, like, sort of that groundwork and, the, decent striking. The only thing he didn't really do was throw kicks. But, there's a lot of that in this match. There's a lot of MMA style stuff. And the fans just aren't appreciating it, because I quite like this.
I thought it was a bloody good match. And if it was anyone but The Undertaker, I think people would have appreciated it. But I think they didn't really expect it from The Undertaker.
I also think that today's crowd would have really loved this as well.
Really, yeah, it was way before its time. Yeah. And it was the Undertaker saying to people, I can work, Yeah. I'm not just that kind of Undertaker gimmick. I can work, I can wrestle, I can do reversals, I can do that ground mat stuff. And yeah, like you say, it was the evolution of the Undertaker character.
And it sort of bugged me that the crowd was silent for this. Jim Ross got in a really fucking stupid line. He said that Ken Shamrock shouldn't get into a fist fight with the Undertaker. That's his fucking gimmick.
Yeah, that is his gimmick.
Fighter, like I really.
And but he keeps telling him
to. The page when I was writing that one down.
Yeah, and he also keeps telling him to Charlie horse the Undertaker. It's like a Charlie horse is what you do to people at school, like giving them a dead leg. That's what we call it, a dead leg. Yeah, when you just knee someone in the side of the thigh and you give them a dead leg.
There's a beautiful, like, sunset flip transition into a knee bar.
Beautiful.
Like all this stuff is really good stuff. It's like, and you might not be an MMA fan, you might not be like a catch as catch, can sort of wrestling fan, but this stuff is fucking amazing.
Great match.
And
Great match. There was a lot of it as well. There was some really, really good stuff. Like you say, that sunset flip, it looks like it's going to go into a pin, but then he grabs the leg and then does the knee. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Really good wrestling match.
but we got boring chants in the middle of all this, and
We have.
I got annoyed by it. I was like, oh, well, fuck you lot then. Like,
Yeah.
can't appreciate shit.
Yeah, they can't appreciate nothing. And it was a really good match. It was, and if anything, it was the match that Shamrock had to do to beat someone like The Undertaker, because he wasn't going to beat him in any other way apart from taking his legs away from him and just grinding him down.
But the only problem with the working the ground stuff and being as active on the ground in that is that Taker looked blown up.
He was blown, yeah. I mean, he was, but
his leg drop, he barely got off the ground. Like I thought,
he literally just put his leg out and then dropped, didn't he?
Yeah. Ken's trying to pick the ankle, go for an ankle lock. He counters a choke slam with an absolutely amazing armbar. Like
beautiful.
Yeah. Almost climbs up his arm like in this choke slam to roll him into an armbar. And again, crowd not digging it, and it bothered me.
I actually really think that Shamrock and The Undertaker worked really well together in this match.
Yeah.
They really did work together in this match. And I think it's because Undertaker is a massive UFC fan.
Yeah. It bothered me that the finish wasn't clean as well, because this match deserved it.
It did.
Bradshaw came out with a Louisville slugger, as JR was telling us. And it was enough of a distraction for The Undertaker to get a tombstone and the win.
Well, it was weird because Shamrock attempted to tombstone The Undertaker, and then he ended up reversing it, and it was I mean that was all right, but like you say, it deserved a clean finish.
And then Bradshaw continued the beatdown, and that was, like I said, I really liked it, but the live crowd didn't.
No, it was a proper wrestling match. It was The Undertaker in a match that we'd never before this point, we'd never seen him in a match like that. Never.
And it kind of makes you sad you never got that Shamrock Angle match.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it might have happened somewhere else, but he never got it in the WWF.
It would have been amazing.
I think Shamrock was in TNA when Angle was there, so yeah, disappointing for everyone, I think, that one.
Yeah.
Video package on Austin Rock, going through their. I mean, this is a hell of a feud, though. Like in general, they main event 2 WrestleManias. They get a high spot on another WrestleMania. This is the feud of the 90s, really, for me.
Yeah, because it would even go through even to WrestleMania 18, 19.
Well, yeah, 15, 17 they main event, and then 19 they go again for the third one. And they just work so well together, and the crowd are into every last thing they do.
It's brilliant, man. The video package shows about The Rock having his funeral for Austin, and the smoking skull belt. It shows, crushing The Rock's car, the whole corporation stuff, The Rock nicking the belt, saying that he was throwing it into the water when he chucked Stone Cold in there, but obviously he kept the belt. There was a creepy bit where Vince McMahon kisses Stephanie on the lips. And
I thought we could gloss over it, but he tells her to get in the limo and he says he's going to watch the main event, and then he kisses her, and it's like, I kind of just sort of just ignored it.
Creepy.
Yeah, it is our main event. It is the World Wrestling Federation Championship match. It's this was one of the best bits. The acting chairman of the WWF and special referee Shane McMahon is here. I was marveling at the reaction that The Rock got. He's meant to be the heel, but he's too damn charismatic to be
brilliant
right here. Yeah, he's too good. It it actually, I was watching a little bit of the Raw of the next night before we came on just now, and it's the night after The Rock becomes a babyface, because he's going through the catchphrase, everyone's into it. It's excellent stuff, and what a time to be a wrestling fan. Have these two guys on your weekly show.
Yeah.
It's people didn't know how good they had it.
They really didn't. It's I mean, we'd come from 96, 97, where it was like, we had people like Shawn Michaels. I just as well did like, I just seen a clip the other day of Shawn Michaels like having a rant and moan at Vader and kicking him in the head in the middle of the ring.
Yeah, I see that. That one's doing the rounds at the minute.
Yeah, fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So then you've got that, that was when WCW were really winning in the ratings and stuff like this. But then, you get to this point and WCW is on its arse, really. It's starting to falter a little bit. And you've got, Stone Cold and The Rock just absolutely carrying WWF on their back, really.
Yeah.
I mean, they named the show SmackDown after The Rock's catchphrase, laying the smackdown on your candy ass.
Yeah.
I'm still really gutted that I never had one of them shirts that said, layeth the smacketh down.
You might be able to find one if anyone's listening and knows where there's one Chris can get.
Yeah, man, it's going to cost me a bloody fortune, but I really want one.
At Chat Grapple Pops on Twitter or Instagram.
Come on. I need a layeth the smacketh down shirt, please.
But as great as the reaction is for The Rock coming out with Austin smoking skull belt, the pop for Austin, it's, people talk about Road Warrior pops and all that stuff, and this is, or even a Hogan pop. This is an Austin pop, and this is, for me, far bigger than 99% of the pops we've seen. I mean, Hogan gets a big one when he returns in 1990. Like, that's massive. But this one here is, these were consistently huge as well for Austin.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've got here my WWF Raw Deal card game.
That's a WWF as well.
WWF Raw Deal card game with The Rock and Austin collectible card game. That's from this era. This is, NECA. Yeah, this is 1999, man. No, 2000. So the next year on. Yeah. That's great. That's one of my favourite things. But we're talking about Austin Pops. There's a little mini Funko of Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh, that is cool.
A little one there. Also got WWF Warzone for the Nintendo 64.
Oh, see. I don't have Warzone or I don't have the WWF games. I've got the WCW games on the 64.
I also have that. It's in my collection. It's up there with my WCW NWO cards on my shelf at the moment. But this is the Pièce de Resistance. Not a great fucking movie, but it's signed by Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Which movie is that?
It is Born to Fight.
Oh, I've not seen it, but I'm sure it's a thriller.
Boxer and the Kid Productions. So basically, it is grizzled ex-boxer Stone Cold Steve Austin thinks his glory days are behind him. Working as a school janitor seems to offer little in the way of excitement. But when he begins coaching the bullied new kid Matthew in a bid to turn him into a boxing champion, he proves how tough he really is.
There we go.
There we go.
Check it out, everyone, if you've not seen Born to Fight.
I've not even fucking seen the movie, dude. I've never even watched this movie, but I don't care because it's signed by Stone Cold Steve Austin. That's all I need. That's all I need it for.
That is mad. This match it's fists and fire to start. It's going to be a brawl. It's no holds barred. You get these two work beautifully together anyway. You got the Thez press, like really good stuff. The fans have come alive. They are absolutely fucking rabid.
Oh, dude, absolutely mental. They're going absolute dog shit crazy at this point.
Uh, the guys are fighting, they're wrestling in the aisle, they're wiping out the set at the entrance. It's a killer brawl. It's white hot. The fans at that part of the arena are absolutely, they're jumping up and down. You can see them like they're just losing their minds. Something I did notice though is that they're taking a lot of bumps on concrete, and that can't be good.
That's right, dude. I've actually got that written here. Of like, the crowd are absolutely wild. They're smashing the setup, and yeah, all the bumps on concrete, they hurt.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of bumps on concrete, even just for clotheslines.
Austin's
The
already
way
got
that
a jacked up neck.
yeah, it is unbelievable how Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock, even, they're bumping all over the place. It is absolutely crazy. And you see, they do the rock bottom on the announce table, and the Rock gets like the headphones, the headset.
Yeah.
But then you see the guy, dude. Everyone who's watched 90s, Attitude Era wrestling will know the guy. He's called Big Jim Dotson, and he's the security guy with the black Kangol hat.
Yeah.
You know the dude, yeah? Massive hench guy, right?
Yeah.
And he's like the head of security and that, like when they're doing these having the brawls in the crowd. And he would actually, I think you see him in a couple of D-Generation X skits and vignettes and stuff. He got quite famous at one point, and you saw him in quite a lot of the stuff. But you can see the old Big Jim is there holding back the circle of the crowd, and they're fighting. And it's really original, and it's one of the best things that you will see, right? The Rock doesn't just pick the headphones of the Spanish announcement. He picks up a camera, bro.
Yeah, this is good.
Picks up a camera and he's talking trash about Stone. He does something, talks trash about Stone Cold Steve Austin while he's lying on the floor. He gives him the finger, right? And you're seeing it from his point of view. He turns around to the crowd, and then literally he turns around and he's got Stone Cold in his face with two fingers, and then he kicks him and does the stunner. You can't pay money to get that shot, dude. That shot alone is money, bro. Just the way he
perfect
pans away, pans around, and then Stone Cold. As soon as he pans around, you just see Stone Cold with the two fingers, kicks him, stunner. Beautiful. Yeah. This match is absolutely bonkers. Bonkers.
Yeah, they get back into the ring. Austin gets pushed into Shane. Shane doesn't disqualify him. There's a rock bottom for a really close 2 count. Shane gets the title belt to try and level Austin, hits the Rock, counts 1, 2, and then decides to give Austin the finger and jump out the ring. This is when Big Daddy Vince comes strutting down the aisle, wipes out Shane, with the belt, and sends in that really shit referee Earl Hebner. I mean, who doesn't manage to screw it up this time. Can't help myself.
You love Hebner.
And Austin hits a stunner on the Rock and then hits him with a belt. So Rock doesn't go down to the stunner. He gets up and gets hit with the belt and then gets the pin. And this I've got here like straight underneath, insanely good. Like this whole match, it had you in it completely locked in from minute 1 to the end. And you couldn't have asked for a better main event.
No, it was good, man. As main events go, it was from start to finish. It was just bang, bang, bang. There was some really original stuff going on in there, like when The Rock's got the camera. And, like we always say on this show, like watch the pay-per-view. I know we've given spoilers or whatever, but I mean, most people have watched this pay-per-view at one point and kind of maybe forgot what had gone on. But watch it, because it is a beautiful bit of late 90s Attitude Era wrestling. It was this kind of stuff, You can buy these VHSs still if you haven't got the network and you want your own collection. You can buy this stuff on eBay. There are groups on on Facebook. You know, you can buy these things, buy them, get the network,
Well,
watch these events.
This is exactly it. Like people who crow about wrestling now and think that their favorite wrestler today is the absolute, is the shit. Take a look at 1999. Take a look at, the two biggest guys in the industry, possibly the two biggest ever. It's arguable.
100%.
Quick question: Austin or Rock?
I can't and I won't pick between the two.
Oh, I thought I had you for a minute, but
and that's the bottom line. If you smell what I'm cooking, so it's I can't.
There is a close call for an ICO Pro Award winner. There's not many jacked up guys in this, but some starting to bulk up just a little bit, and that it was the man covered in tan trope, as you like to call it. He's just starting to bulk up. I mean, Billy Gunn was probably closest in second, but Triple H is our ICO Pro Award winner for this week.
I'd give it to Trip. If
we get towards 2000, between 2000 and 2002, it's either going to be Triple H or Scott Steiner who wins it every week. So just go back and watch some stuff. Go back and watch what they were doing, before you start telling me how great, or how close Moxley is to Austin, because it's not a contest. It's not close. Someone mentioned that MJF is getting on Rock levels. No, he's not. MJF is really good, but MJF is not close to Rock levels.
The heat first of all, you can't compare them because the heat ain't the same anyway.
No.
But I mean, MJF is. I mean, people genuinely hate the guy, dude. Like, people are genuinely hating him.
He plays the character outside the ring as well, which is quite funny to watch, because there's a picture of him flipping a kid off and stuff. Like
it's so good.
It's all real heel stuff, and I just don't understand how people. People shouldn't make those comparisons. Just no point. It's like Cena,
it's all hypothetical.
Cena and Hogan and stuff like that. Who was better? Well, I can tell you who was better out of, Moxley and MJF and Austin Rock. I can tell you that, straight away. There's no argument. But let someone like MJF evolve for a couple of years, see how he's doing, see where he is at.
I would. I mean, it even annoys me how people try and compare MJF to The Miz. Because they do.
I really like The Miz. I
liked him as well. I mean, I even like, there's videos where he meets kids as well, and he's trying to get the kids to say, oh, you know who your favorite wrestler is. It's The Miz, isn't it? You know what I mean? He's like, all right, second favorite wrestler. All right, third favorite wrestler. I mean, The Miz was absolutely great, but The Miz was someone like you or I, who actually was in Tough Enough, weren't he? The Miz.
Yeah. He
earned his spot. I like The Miz. I think he's great. I really do like The Miz. But I think comparing MJF and the character of The Miz, MJF is a different character. He's more arrogant. He's ruder. He's more entitled. And I really am enjoying it. But like you say, you can't compare Attitude Era Rock to an AEW MJF. You just can't.
I'll be honest. There is an AEW pay-per-view coming up. Is it All Out? Is it in September?
Oh, dude, and they've got a fucking right. I mean, I know people don't like him, but I like Jim Cornette. I like listening to him. I think he's got a lot of knowledge. He's outspoken, but he's got a lot of wrestling knowledge, and he was there during some pivotal times in the wrestling business. And it was only through him, Corny's little snippets on YouTube that I found that they're doing. You've got Orange Cassidy
Chris Jericho
versus Jericho in an orange mimosa match, which is just orange juice and champagne mixed together. We call it Bucks Fizz. So They've got a Bucks Fizz match, right?
A little bit of the bubbly.
A little bit of the bubbly. So it's like a swimming pool mixed with a little bit of the bubbly and some OJ, and whoever wins is the person that's going to toss the other one into the.
To be honest, that match sounds like Judy Bagwell on a pole. It's it's your Carson City Silver Dollar match, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And it's called your Orange Mimosa match because it's in America. If it was in the UK, it would be called the Bucks Fizz match. The making your mind up.
The band, the older group behind dancing on the stage.
We know about Bucks Fizz. So, that was just another thing that I'm seeing, and I'm like, I mean, but like I say, we're going away from how good Backlash was and how good this era of WWF was, and how people can even compare it to what's going on at the moment is a little bit crazy, really, because it's just different levels.
It's absolutely absurd. To end the show, The Undertaker drives away in the limo with Stephanie in the back. He turns around with that devilish look, where to, Stephanie, and all that, whilst Stephanie's in the ring celebrating with some cold ones. That's the end of our show. That's the end of Backlash. And we haven't decided where we're going next. We know how it works by now. It is another WCW show. We haven't got that far yet, though, have we?
No, we haven't. We haven't decided where we're going. We haven't spoken about it. So that'll be one for us to decide what we're going to do next. Like you say, it will be a WCW. But, dude, maybe we can do an ECW. Maybe.
I mean, I'm not against it, but if it's got Al Snow on it, then we might have to rethink our strategy.
What does everybody want? I honestly think we could do like House Party 96 or something absolutely loopy, because the pure amount of people that would then become bigger stars.
Not thought about any TNA shows yet either. I mean, I know
I have thought about TNA shows. Yes,
I have one TNA show on VHS in this house.
What is it?
It's Turning Point 2004.
Okay, I mean, not a bad show either, to be honest with you.
Bootleg VHS.
Taped off the telly.
No, it was. I bought it at a wrestling show. I think it was an FWA show in Broxbourne.
Dude, yeah.
And I mean, to get hold of Turning Point. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's some decent matches on there. So, we could jump into other promotions if there's a demand for it. But
yeah,
we have yet to figure out what we're going to watch next. If anyone's got any ideas, and please make them good. Don't just tell us to go and watch, that Heroes of Wrestling shit or whatever it was, or like anything good. We're at Chat Grapple Pops on Twitter and Instagram. The group is on Facebook. You can also, see our latest videos on YouTube just by following the channel. You can hit the subscribe button. It's somewhere. It's that way, isn't it?
That way. Yeah.
Hit the subscribe button. Like I said, there is stuff to give away. We haven't decided when we're going to do it yet. It's probably going to be when the numbers come up just a bit more. I've got plenty of stuff to give away. Chris has got plenty of stuff to give away. There's Hasbro stuff on my side. There's DVDs as well. There's even a VHS of something really random, WWF-wise. It's free. It's free. You could win free stuff. That's all we're saying.
Let's just tell it how it is. Fucking subscribe, people, please. We want to grow. We want to grow this channel. We want to be giving away stuff. We want to up the production value on this. I mean, we've been talking before about doing the show. I mean, we're still in this coronavirus time, so this is why predominantly we initially are doing this via Zoom or doing it in this way, but. I mean, we would love to do it sitting on a sofa, socially distanced, with a little table in front of us with loads of stuff all on it, so you can see us a lot better. We'll have a green screen behind us with the whatever VHS or whatever event we're watching behind us. It'd just be a better value.
Sweet logo.
And that's the thing. But we need to. we can't really build that at the moment financially off our own backs. You know, we're both working guys. I mean, we were even, we've gone on a little bit late tonight because I was working right up to the point where literally I had to stop working to do the podcast. So, it's crazy, but we love it, and we will keep doing it. So, guys, this is episode 15 of Chat, Grapple and Cheap Pops podcast. It was Backlash, WWF Backlash 1999. Go back and watch the pay-per-view. You've heard us chat shit about it for however long, and we really enjoyed it. There's some really good points, really weird points, some really dated points in the pay-per-view, but it was 21 years ago.
Yeah, that's right. And as ever, we thank you for staying with us, getting to the end. If all those poor insomniacs that are still trying to get to sleep, if we haven't bored you into it yet, maybe go listen to Meltzer or something. I don't know. Like, sorry, Dave.
And just for shits and giggles, join the All Elite Wrestling groups on Facebook if you want to have a laugh.
Oh man, I'm not going to take shots at All Elite anymore. Like, I'm going to try and be good with them. As ever, thank you to Chris for staying on. I know he's got a bit more work to do before he goes off.
It's all good, man.
Thank
all
you
good.
Thank you to Tree of Life Framing for those sweet, sweet T-shirts and hoodies. They could be part of our giveaways at some point. They're really cool. They look great. They make you look, really cool and sweet and too sexy and all that stuff. Everyone's going to want one. So join up, subscribe, hit the giveaways will come.
Subscribe. This is my subscribe, people, please. Right? We want to keep doing this. We want to keep pushing it. We've got loads of shit to give away. Get us to that magical number, innit, Jay? That's what we want. Get us to that magical number.
And if
1,000
I'd also like to say quickly thank you to those that are downloading. The downloads have gone up quite a bit this past week, and I was really surprised and impressed by that. So for those that are listening, we thank you. Don't stop. Don't watch us on YouTube. Keep downloading. Keep listening to us. These sultry voices are helping you lot through your day, through your car journeys, through your train journeys.
Yeah.
Keep listening. Enjoy it. We'll try and keep you guys in the loop of everything as well. It won't always be visual stuff. There won't just be memorabilia and that. We'll try and keep you guys in our minds too. So thank you for downloading. We're really grateful for that.
Sweet, man. So there we have it. Episode 15 done and dusted, guys. Thanks again for listening. I've been Chris Dredd, main man JB, and this is Chat, Grapple and Cheap Pops podcast. Thanks again, guys.
Take care, guys.